Hello. I am going to be
performing
a Get Ready With Me. You know, it's actually kind of good that I'm doing this because I have to have my glasses off, and that means I can't even try to look at myself in the view camera because I have no idea what that looks like. I can't see anything at all. This is basically just gonna be me trying to explain my new concept of a character, one might say. I've decided to fully embrace what it is that I am, which is that of
a rat wife.
Now, what is a rat wife, you might ask? It is my concept that I've made up that is the opposite of
a trad wife.
So if you don't know what a trad wife is, it stands for traditional wife. So it's a bunch of these women that want to go back to like the 1950s and take away all their rights and just like submit to their husband full time. Obviously, you could probably understand what like the problematic aspect of this would be, and it's become kind of a trend. I've decided to counteract that with my own trend, the rat wife lifestyle. So what is a rat wife? A rat wife is everything that a trad wife isn't. I kind of like to think about it like one of the antithesis of the rat wife is that I'm like the useless husband that doesn't know how to do anything around the house, like cooking or cleaning or
beautifying.
And frankly, that's not even an exaggeration. I don't know how to do any of those things. I never have, and frankly, when I try, it's never good. So
I've just accepted this as a part of myself.
I'm not trying to be a trad wife. I'm embracing this chaotic void that's been ever present inside of me since birth.
So
That's my concept. I'm gonna mainly post about it on TikTok, I believe. So if you are interested, that's where you'll see most of the content. But I thought I would express what it is in a more nuanced way on here, because I imagine like this will be where like the mask comes off. We're a little more nuanced here, you know? Like I'm not just chaotic rat wife all the time. I'm Hannah, slightly chaotic rat wife, you know? And a lot of this comes from how I think trad wives are trying to simplify and there's a word for it. What's the word? It's not objectify. Glamorize essentially like stay-at-home mom and homemaking, which is more chaotic than what they show it to be, and also like they're essentially being like pro take my rights away. And to a certain extent it's like, you know, feminism is the ability to choose what it is that you want to do. It means like if you want to be a trad wife, like you should be able to be a trad wife, but there's still some like very dangerous connotations and beliefs that can create. I mean, for one, I would hope that all of these like trad wife influencers are in loving marriages that are safe and fulfilling to them. But, you know, if you have that type of mentality and you end up with the wrong guy, like that becomes a kind of a really big issue. I don't know where I was going with this. See, this is kind of how I am. It's like I don't know where I'm going. I just took my Adderall, so like bear with me. My brain hasn't fully like connected just yet, you know? Oh, I think one of the things I was gonna say is how even though like trad wife doesn't have to be political, I I think you can probably tell from what I've been saying about it that there is kind of an inherent political bias that comes around with it, but it doesn't have to be political. Like the influencers aren't talking about their political beliefs necessarily. However, it is considered to be on the alt-right pipeline, which that in and of itself is just like this concept that there's certain trends on the internet that might help predispose a person to some harmful alt-right conservative beliefs. So like, you know, you're watching trad wife content, not thinking like, I hate gay people, but slowly like this type of content kind of introduces like harmful, say like maybe homophobic beliefs, and there's a lot more than just homophobia and hating gay people that comes around with alt-right. I'm just using this as an example. And slowly your own beliefs start to shift to the algorithm that's being pushed onto you, and what might have been a person who had more centric beliefs have now shifted towards the right, kind of based off what the algorithm gives to you and what they think you would also believe in based off what you're watching. So that's kind of the idea of what like an alt-right pipeline is, and that's kind of what trad wife culture and content can push onto. So
As a rat wife,
I want to become the alt-left pipeline. You watch me for the makeup videos and the pseudo homemaking content that I'm pursuing, and then bam, communism. I'm just kidding. I'm a democratic socialist. What blush do I want to use today? So anyway, so with being a rat wife, I've basically have just determined that my house can look how I want. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing really has to be perfect. I mean, and this comes from just kind of like my own, maybe you could say, insecurities. So I think one of my own personal struggles, and kind of one of the things that inspired this person inside of me, is how I feel like everyone in life was given like a handbook on how to do life, and somehow I was not given that handbook, you know? And it's not from like lack of trying to find the handbook. It's like I try to look things up and I try to learn and I try to do it, and yet it still seems like there's something that's written down somewhere that I've never had access to. And it's just made it so it's like, why is it that everything around me seems to be perfect and professional and everyone knows what they're doing, and I can't figure out what that is? I've kind of always assumed it was like, you know, is it money? Is it friendships? Is it your parents? I mean, like, I think growing up, I kind of always thought parents, because I grew up with a single mom and she, you know, she helped me out as much as she can. Like, obviously, I love my mom, but, you know, she's also working a lot. I never really got to use her as like a resource for a lot of things. It's like I kind of had to figure out a lot of things on my own. I don't have older siblings. I don't even have younger siblings. I'm an only child. And it felt like, you know, I already have this disadvantage like growing up, and so all the kind of popular kids don't want anything to do with me because I'm not cool and I don't really know how to do these things. And so then all my friends are the same kids that, you know, don't have this handbook either. So that's just a different rant on itself. But I kind of feel the same way with trad wives. Like, you know, they're trying to show something that's perfect, that is unattainable, and I don't even know how they get the resources to know how to do this stuff, you know? And so I have decided as like kind of my birthday resolution. This is random, but hot tip. Don't start resolutions on New Year's. I've learned this actually. I think the best place to start a resolution is not in the dead of winter, because let's face it, when it's like cold and dark constantly, it's hard to want to do anything at all. So if you start like in the middle of summer, which is also when my birthday is, it's a lot easier to stick to resolutions. So my resolution, as I'm turning 28 years old, as I'm going to start my Saturn return, is that I just want to put out my content. I'm kind of sick of feeling like I need to make everything perfect and I need to display myself as being perfect, otherwise I'm not worthy of displaying myself. And I want to just do the things. I don't want to worry about what the quality seems to be. I just want to be, you know? I didn't think I was going to get into that rant right now, but I guess I did. Aries Saturn in the 5th house. I should have expected this to be my Saturn return, you know? Rat wife is supposed to represent this idea that you can, you know, be a wife. I'm not a wife yet. I'm basically married. I'm basically a wife, but I'm technically not a wife. I'm not married yet. Who knows? Maybe I'll get secretly married soon so I can have health insurance. It's something we've talked about.
If you know me in real life, you didn't hear that.
Anyway, she's supposed to represent that you don't need to be perfect. Your husband will still love you. At least if he respects women, he'll still love you. And that you can be your free and fancy self with no fear, and you can still
influence.
One of my goals is just to kind of show off my lifestyle, show off like what I do exactly. And then in a way I am gonna try like homemaking stuff. I want to be clear that with this concept, it's like I'm not trying to be a trad wife. I'm not trying to be like rat wife turns into trad wife. But frankly, I think it'd just be funny watching me try to cook and clean, because I don't know how to do either of those things. And frankly, I think it is important that everyone should be able to do those things. Like, you know, I am that husband that doesn't know how to do any of that stuff. But, you know, those husbands should try to learn and try to
be helpful.
You know? Even if it's not perfect, even if it doesn't look good, even if it doesn't taste good, they should still try to do it. So that's kind of what my idea is right now, I think. All right, so I explained how that is what I'm gonna try to do like on TikTok. Kind of going back to my resolutions. I want to post things. Personally, I think I can be kind of funny. I think I'm intelligent. And I would like to start posting things. And part of this comes from, so I'm transitioning in my life. And what I mean by that is, we've lived in the place that we currently have lived for 6 years. This is where I've been since I graduated college. And we are now moving to a different area. So I had to quit my job, which is fine, so that we can move to the next place. And I'm kind of at this point where it's like, I don't really know what I want to do next, because I was working in schools all those 6 years, and Now I don't really want to keep working in schools. So I'm at this weird place in my life where I don't really know what I want to do. And frankly, I think my desire in general is I just want to create what I create, and I want to show that to the world. I feel like if I'm going to try to do it, this is the time to do it, you know? And, you know, maybe I'll crash and fail, maybe it won't work out, but I feel like if I don't try to do it, I'm never going to, and it just won't ever happen. I want to make this my priority. And I don't know, it's like that's kind of what my resolution is. But basically, I'm gonna try to put out 2 videos a week. I'm gonna try to post on TikTok at least 3 times a week. I'm gonna venture that that's gonna end up being more, because I think the TikTok videos will be a lot less energy to make in general. Again, I feel like if I don't do it now, it'll never happen. And I've got ideas. I think if I really try to put my energy towards it, I think would be cool. So I'm still interested in doing kind of my reality TV series. However, I need to kind of figure out how I want to do that, because there were a few snags that I was having with the next one I was thinking about doing. And they kind of mainly come down to, one, I need to figure out copyright a little bit better. I was able to do it with my 90 Day Fiance video, but I'm not gonna lie, it took a couple of tries before I could actually post it due to just copyright issues. And that took a lot of time and energy, and I don't really want to have to do that each time that I'm posting something, especially with the fear that, like, you know, maybe when I'm posting it, it doesn't catch it initially and then something worse happens down the line. So I need to figure that out. 2, I think I need to figure out my voice to it a little bit better. What I'm really interested is reality competition shows. Those are my true love, frankly. Something like 90 Day Fiance. It's never been like my favorite thing where it's just kind of like slice of life. I like the reality competition shows. And I was doing that with the one I was editing that I never posted. And it ended up being a lot of, like, you know, I'm just explaining what is happening, and it's not very funny, it's not very fast paced, and there was something that I just didn't like about it. So I think I need to figure out a voice and a tone and a direction that I want to move in with that, as well as like the visuals and what it is that I want to post alongside, like my face or the videos or anything like that. So that's another thing that I need to try to figure out. And then frankly, just the script, and this kind of goes along with the voice and the tone, but I think I need to figure out, like, how much do I script and how much am I, like, just kind of talking about off the bat. Because I think that I feel like a script is not the way to go for me personally. It just doesn't feel right, and I think I need to be a little more off the cuff. I need to figure out how to do that in a way that doesn't just make me forget everything that happens. So I have an idea of what I want to do, but it might take some time. So I don't know. I guess, like, this channel, my plan is it to be kind of like a hobby dump. It's for long form stuff. You know, if people like me on the TikTok, then they can come on here and just see more long form things. I think I need to try not to get in this insecurity, because this is what I end up kind of getting into, where I feel like people will look at me and think that I'm trying too hard, that I'm being too much, like, oh, she's not authentic, she's trying too hard to be an influencer. And I think that's my fear, and I think that's the thing I need to get over, because yeah, that is what I'm trying to do. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to do. I get really scared of being called like millennial cringe. Which I guess my response to that would be like, I'm not a millennial, I'm an elder Gen Z. I was born in 1997. That's the start of Gen Z. So don't call me millennial cringe, call me Gen Z cringe. But I think that's kind of my fear. And there's a part of me that's like, you know, I need to just not care. And yet there's a part of me that does. It's scared of being like I feel like I'm gonna post something, it's gonna be like, what does this girl think she's doing? She's cringy. And then it's like, you blacklist just everything that I do because I was cringy in one moment. And I think I need to remember that people don't have that good of memories, and we are all cringy, and we all are trying to be influencers because we all see that as like the optimal job to have, you know? I hope that this gave you some insight inside my head, and possibly I was funny in it. I don't know. I suppose I will see when I edit this. But bye!